audible.
Great.
So,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Sharma, start kiya jaye.
Yeah. So it's 9:05. I welcome each one of you on behalf of Adolescent Health Academy of Uttar Pradesh. And I'm delighted to have all of you here for our monthly parenting talk show. And today's session is on a very important topic, parenting neurodivergent kids.
Yes, already live, ma'am.
हाँ जी sir. Sir, mute कर दीजिए. So it's a very important topic. I'll talk a little bit about it later. But before I start, we have our dignitaries here from Central Adolescent Health Academy. I don't think we have anybody from Central IAP as yet. So I would invite Dr. Hima Bindu ma'am to say a few words.
Thank you.
Dr. Sushma Desai ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ritu. First of all, a very, very, very good evening to all. And looking at all of you really is such a acha lag raha hai. And Dr. Piali, Dr. Ritu, Dr. Ruchira, Dr. R.N. Sharma ji, Hema also, and if at all I'm missing, Tyagi, Sneha ji bhi aa gayi hai, Ritu, Srinivasan sir, oh God, every time he's there with us, and Rashmi Dwivedi madam, Devendra Sareen, like a family, you know, I feel like HA, I'm working, like I'm being a chair in life for now, it is 7-8 months. It's like become a little addictive to be part of this family. NC Prajapati sir, pranams to all the seniors and all colleagues. And you have UP, AHA is always at the top to think so innovatively. This parent teening session, which was started by Dr. Ritu last year and Dr. Piali, like gracefully senior person supporting Dr. Ritu in and she has given her a lot of empowerment to carry on her activities, and she has really taken this lead, and we are also taken up the central AHA, the parent teening, in a very big way. So I think it was very satisfactory experience to see a course like a course we have done, the parent teening course, and it was ably led by Dr. Ritu, Dr. Rashmi, and Dr. Nischal Bhatt. And it was well attended, well appreciated. And we also are coming out with a book and the FAQs on parenting, which was done by the group again, which Rashmi madam was also the EB was in charge. And this was uploaded on our website. So absolutely we understand at AHA that to really care for the young people, we require not only the young, we want them to be empowered, definitely that is the theme for this year, but we want our gatekeepers, the parents, the teachers, and we pediatricians, we also have to be empowered. And to strengthen the parenting, we all understand the dynamics. It is no more the old type of parenting. We have to futuristic parenting. That is what we spoke recently in the workshop. So keeping that in line, I really appreciate the UPIAPHA, which has come out with this idea, ably supported by this program, supported by IAP of UP branch and the Lucknow branch. All of you are working together. And these sessions are well sought after. I'm sure we should save this on as a resource. And neurodivergent, managing neurodivergent teens, how to parent them, definitely more challenging. As it is, adolescent parenting is challenging. Usme neurodivergent parenting absolutely is highly challenging. So we can understand and empathize only if we have one such child in our family. तो पता चलता है कितने challenges face करते हैं parents. And as pediatricians, as advocates for children and adolescents, we need to be the guides for these parents, empower them, talk to them, understand them, compassion, passion, whatever. Just, need to be just like a support to the parents too. So parents have challenges while dealing with these children. So I think it's a very nice new topic. I congratulate again Ritu, Dr. Piali Bhattacharya, Dr. Rajiv Krishak, and all the executive board members to come out with this nice new topic. And over to the session, I just want to listen and to the experts today. All the best for today's session. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And sorry, I didn't introduce you to the ones who don't know you, who are our guests today. So Hima Bindu ma'am is the chairperson of National Adolescent Health Academy, of Central IIP. So yeah, welcome ma'am to the session.
Thank you.
I would request Dr. Sushma Desai ma'am, who's chairperson-elect for year 2026 of Adolescent Health Academy.
So, very good evening. Just like Himaji, I also share my feelings that when I'm with UPHA, I feel like being with a family. As Dr. Piali madam is more than a big sister to me, and Dr. Ritu and all, I know for long now. So, it's actually respected Dr. Piali madam, Dr. Ritu ji, the chief guest, Dr. Ruchira ji, Dr. Latika ji, and Dr. Hima Ratnani, the expert, Dr. Sonali Kataria, and of course, the parents and the bache. Today's topic, I think I'm very much impressed because there are special concerns and challenges parenting this neurodiverse adolescents. And I have been working with an institute where these neurodiverse children are inclusive. I know how does that, affect the entire family. And I'm so very happy that this topic, very sensitive one, chosen for today's webinar. And I look forward to learn a lot from this webinar. So without wasting much time, I would wish luck to the UPHA team as well as today's faculties and the guest. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity and for the patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now,
thank you, Ritu. I just want to say hello and appreciate Dr. DM Gupta ji. I just saw him, President of UP.
Yes.
Thank you, Gupta ji, for supporting AHA activities. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, very, very good evening and warm welcome on behalf of UPOP to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks for recognizing and acknowledging us.
So, Ritu, we also have Dr. G.S. Chaudhary, who's CIAP EV.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I want to hand it over to you, ma'am, so that you
Good evening, madam. Good evening, everyone.
Our dignitaries and also our chief guest and guest of honor. Over to Piali ma'am, who's our
chairperson. I would request Dr. G.S. Chaudhary to give us his blessings also.
Yeah, sure.
Dr. Chaudhary.
Yes, Chaudhary.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm driving, ma'am, please. So my best message to this talk. Please go ahead.
Great that you are here with us. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, I think nobody else. We have our president.
DM Gupta, UPOP president.
President sir, उन्होंने तो बोला. और Dr. G.S. Chaudhary भी है. See, in every respect, our president, Dr. D.M. Gupta, has been supporting us. Other than the support of Central AHA and Central IIP, we also have been supported very ably by Dr. D.M. Gupta, who is our president presently. And of course, it would be unworthy of me if I do not mention Dr. Anand Sharma's support. Audiovisual, he has been a pillar of support for us everywhere. So these are the two people who are worth mentioning. Other than that, of course, we have Dr. Sushma, Dr. Hima, Dr. Geeta Patil, all of them who have lent us support. So Ritu, I think we can go ahead with our program because talking about neurodiverse kids is very, very close to my heart as well. As all of them has said, parenting is a big challenge as it is for adolescents. We all have adolescents at home and we know it's a very, very big challenge. They rebel, they want more time, they do not communicate well. So having said all that, when we talk about neurodiverse kids, it's very, very challenging. It's more challenging than parenting any other adolescent. So first and foremost, please keep in mind that neurodiversity is a difference. It is not a deficit. So having said that, I tell you that these children have their unique masteries, they have their unique strengths, and they can be masters in their subjects if they want to be. They can succeed in life very, very well. So we do not give up on them. We need to have a little patience, a little flexibility in our parenting, and there they go, absolutely shooting like stars. So Ritu, thank you. And I think we should go ahead further with our clinical deliberations.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And before we start the actual session, I would invite and welcome our chief guest of the day, Dr. Ruchira Gupta. She's a senior consultant pediatrician at Kailash Hospital, Noida. She's National Joint Secretary Liaison of Central IAP. She's also EB member of our Adolescent Health Academy of Uttar Pradesh. She's been joint national coordinator. The list is very, very long. She's been awarded with various recognitions and awards. She's authored various chapters, and she is a born leader. She's a great leader who has created leaders like me. So welcome, Dr. Ruchira. A few words from you as our chief guest. You are on mute, Dr. Ruchira.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Okay, a very good evening to all the dignitaries present over here. And to start with, the chairperson of Central AHA, Dr. Hima Bindu, immediate chairperson-elect Dr. Sushma ma'am, past chairperson of AHA, Dr. Geeta Patil madam, and our UPIAP stars, Pyali ma'am, the UP president, and the very vibrant and dynamic secretary from UP that is Dr. Ritu, very ably supported with by Dr. R.N. Sharma, and our backbone of UPIAP, that is Dr. D.M. Gupta, along with the guest of honor, Dr. Latika Bhalla, and the expert and Dr. Hima, and all the dignitaries. If I will start taking name, the whole session will go in that. So, dear friends, today's topic, when Dr. Ritu told that the topic is parenting in neurodiverse children, as all the previous experts have said, that this is such a unique topic, because parenting a neurodiverse child, whether with autism, ADHD, learning disabilities, or other differences, it comes with unique challenges as well as immense opportunities. These children often perceive, learn, and respond to the world differently. And effective parenting requires sensitivity, adaptability, and patience, as just now told by Dr. Piali Madam. So, I would like to say here that parenting neurodiverse children is not about fixing the child, which we are most of the time, focusing on. Okay, the child things should be fixed, the problem should be fixed. Rather, it is about celebrating their individuality and also empowering them to thrive in their own unique way in this challenging world. So, dear friends, I won't be much in between you and the academics. So, I would like to thank you all for having me over here, and over to Dr. Ritu for amazing topic discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Ruchira. Beautifully said, beautifully shared, whatever you shared. Thank you. And now I welcome Dr. Latika Bhalla. She is a senior consultant at Adolescent Pediatrics Institute of Child Health at Sir Gangaram Hospital. She's held various offices. She's been Central AHA North Zone EB year 2024. She's past secretary and president, Delhi Adolescent Health Academy. She has bagged various awards like Baba Saheb Ambedkar National Women Excellence Award by Ministry of Minorities and many others. And she's presented various papers in national and international conferences and authored various chapters in adolescent health textbooks. So welcome, Dr. Latika ma'am. A few words from you. We are privileged to have you here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ritu. And special thanks to Dr. Pyali ma'am, UPAHA, as well as we have all the dignitaries, starting from Dr. Hima Bindu ma'am, our present Central AHA president, Dr. Sushma Desai ma'am, Dr. Geeta Patil, and Dr. Ruchira, and all the dignitaries. My very good evening to all of you. So once you were discussing about the neurodivergent, we are taking care of adolescent children. So what we are seeing, also the children we can say is especially able to even, we have a very big unit of a hemolytic anemia, that's a thalassemia unit. We have a very big unit of, you can say rheumatology, liver transplantation, kidney transplantation, and as well as we have children for the rheumatology. So once we are now doing, all the IPD patients are screened for heads assessment. So there are a lot of stressors which are coming out, which can pertain to the body image issues, which can pertain to the, you can say, most of the children, the parents are asking that we want that you should be talking to the children. We want our children, like the children are getting admitted for the physical problems and they're coming up with some kind of a problem which have a lot of stresses. So I think neurodiverse, it has, we had a child with a Down syndrome, and then there was another child with a cerebral palsy, where the parents didn't know how to handle the adolescent menstruation. What should be done in that kind of a menstruation, like how to go about it, whom to contact, whether they should stop it, whether they want to postpone the menstruation. So things of that, the things which are of, you can say, interest to every day in their behavior, in the working, how they are going to look after, where the child is dependent for everything on other person. So how to go about it? I think IPAHA has a lot to work on that. So all of us are working, are trying to work towards that, and we should all work towards very, very in a way. And I'll be very happy to listen to all the, and your parenting talk in our, you had a, we just had a talk from Dr. Ritu in our NACHI conference, which was on half of them, but most of them were the gynecologists, and they really appreciated talk about the parenting. So thank you so much for coming to us with that. And I thank everyone, Dr. R.N. Sharma sir, and everyone to make me come to this platform. And it is my, I think, great pleasure to be with all the dignitaries on this platform. Thank you so much, and welcome to the talks by the seniors as well as the experts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. And I welcome and just, my regards to Dr. Sneha, who's here, and other dignitaries. I saw very senior Dr. Srinivasan here, and Dr. Rashmi Dwivedi. So my regards from AHA Uttar Pradesh. So now let's move to today's topic, and which is parenting of neurodivergent kids. And as a parenting coach, I have often seen how parents believe that we must teach our children everything. But children, especially the neurodivergent ones, they become our greatest teachers. They teach us patience, unconditional acceptance, and the courage to look at the world through a different lens. And today we are honored to have with us an inspiring panel for parents who have walked this journey themselves and transformed it into a mission of hope, awareness, and change for others. So let's open our minds and hearts to listen, learn, and celebrate this incredible journey together. So now I welcome the host for today's show, Dr. Hema Ratnani. She's treasurer of Adolescent Health Academy, Noida branch. She's a senior consultant developmental pediatrics at Max Super Speciality Hospital, Noida. She's done her MD Pediatrics from KGMU, Lucknow, PG Diploma in Management of Learning Disabilities, and she is pursuing her PG Diploma in Developmental Neurology from Kerala University. She herself is a parent of a 17-year-old on autism spectrum, and she's been working with neurodevelopmental disorders since 2018. She's also founder consultant at Potential Child Development Clinic in Noida. So welcome, Dr. Hema. It's I'm sure you are going to do a great job, and I hand over the platform to you now to take it forward, invite our panelists for today, and welcome them and start the show. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for organizing this event, because it speaks volumes about the commitment of AHA and IAP to supporting a community which is growing day by day and actually requires a lot of support from all aspects. from the pediatricians, from the society in general, from the school systems. And we, the parents who are part of the panel today, have gone through a lot of struggles while managing our kids. And the purpose of today's discussion is to bring forth that struggle that we have had, the joys that we have experienced in this journey. And I have invited all the parent professionals who have been able to move beyond the diagnosis and the daily struggles and have started helping other parents as well.
Yeah, which is so
And they're
beautiful.
working in the field of neurodiversity. They're supporting other families in this journey. Yeah. So thank you to the organizers and the AHA IAP platform for having us here. I would first
Really appreciate,
introduce our
Emma.
first
This is the real
panelist.
work. I think the original work, what you're doing, you're presenting. Really, salutations to you. Appreciate you for getting all the parents on board and arranging this program. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So our first panelist, Dr. Sonali, she is a founder head of Sunrise Learning Foundation. She earlier, rather I should say, she is a doctor. She did her MD in anatomy from AIMS, Delhi, and she had been doing a lot of work in AIMS before she transformed herself to support her child and support other neurodiverse individuals. She is an autism specialist.
Yeah.
She has done a fellowship in
वापस वो ले
pediatrics
लिया
from Midvasti, and she is doing amazing
क्यों
work
खा
at
रहे हो?
her center, Sunrise Learning Foundation. Our second
खा रही हो?
panelist is Sini Basu. She is a special educator and I would say an amazing educator. She has a platform at Queries where she's the content creator. She has trained multiple other special educators. She's managing
क्या
an adult with autism, mild intellectual disability, as well as he has seizures, which probably now are controlled, but she had a lot of struggle in the early years. And she's a wonderful, lovely person. The third panelist we have is Deepa Tyagi. She's an occupational therapist, a counseling psychologist, and special educator. She's working at a school currently as a special educator. She's the mother to a 12-year-old on the ADHD, having ADHD along with learning SLD. So without
पंकज
without waiting further, I would like to start the panel now, the panel discussion. And the idea is to bring forth the challenges as well as the strategies that worked, the real strategies that they used, they figured out, and then a lot of evidence-based strategies that they are now using, which they had already figured out while working with their kids, and now they are much more informed and helping the parents in their journey.
अर्शी
So my first question is for Dr. Sonali. And the first question is based on the early part of the journey, the first moments that the thing started. So Dr. Sonali, if you could recall the early part of your journey when you realized first that your child was developing differently. And can you share with us the emotions that you went through that period and how it was like for you at that time?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, AHA, IAP, and Dr. Hema and Dr. Ritu for this lovely opportunity to be with such icons of pediatrics and with parents. It's an honor. Thank you. And I'm just another parent who was, given a child with special needs without a manual and left to figure it out myself. So, recalling my journey of how things started, when I first began to notice that my child was seemingly developing differently, it was a mix of emotions. If you ask me about emotions, yes, there was a lot of fear. So it was a lot of fear, and majorly I remember there were blocks of guilt, loads of guilt. I don't know why, but and somehow in my case there was no denial. In fact, I still remember I told the pediatrician who I met that my son used to do some actions at 6, 7, 8 months. He used to do Machli Jal Ki Rani Hai action, and he would raise both his arms when I said Jo Bole Sonihal. He used to raise his arms, but now he stopped doing that. So when I shared my concerns with the pediatrician, he probably could not understand the gravity. And he said, probably you're overthinking, you're pretty well read, so perhaps you're worrying too much. Because I had shared that concern when he was 9 months, 10 months old. But my instincts told me there is something. So when he was 22 months old, we went to the zoo and I was pointing excitedly towards the ducks. Wo dekho ducks, wo dekho ducks. He was just not looking towards the ducks. He was just looking at a railing. There was a rusted railing. I can never forget that railing. And all he was doing was looking at that rust on the railing. And that was the moment when I felt that I really need to, go and consult somebody. And I was in AIMS at that time. So I went to the pediatrics department, Dr. Shefali Gulati's department. And there, the senior resident said, yes, we should start with some intervention. And they gave me the address of a therapy center in Malviya Nagar at that time. So, and what I felt at that time was, I felt understood. I felt heard. That's all I remember. So I share this because the very first conversations that we have with a parent who is clueless, helpless, going nuts with fear and guilt is very powerful. What pediatricians say at that time kind of makes or breaks the journey, the beginning of the journey. So as parents, we are already processing a lot of grief and self-doubt. So we need from a doctor is not just clinical information, but validation, reassurance that our concerns are real, and also hope that there is a way forward. So as a professional myself, I see this from the other side too. So the tone, the words, the way with which the pediatrician speaks, it kind of shapes the way a family begins their lifelong journey. So as Dr. Hema said this, as professionals, we can't have negative feelings about a parent having negative feelings about their child's diagnosis. I kind of love this line, but this is how I remember feeling about my child's diagnosis in the very beginning.
Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your feelings so openly. And I understand it takes a lot of courage. So from you, I understand that there was no denial.
Dr. Hema,
yeah.
Can I interrupt? I just have one question before we move ahead to all the experts, whosoever wants to answer. So for some of the parents who may not be medical professionals here, so what do we mean by neurodivergent kids? So if you could clarify that for our viewers before we move ahead, and then you can go ahead with your question.
Dr. Sonali, would you like to take that?
Sure. So, okay, Dr. Ritu wanted to say something else?
No. I just had this question for for clarity for our viewers.
So neurodivergent, not necessarily kids, but a human being, an individual who has differences in the way he or she processes information, understands and sees things differently from most of the people who see it very typically. So there is a typically developing child and a typical human being. And there is a person who has clear differences in the way he or she processes the information that is going to the brain and then creating that information which is then converted into a response. So the processing of the information, the reception of the information, the processing, and then the response, all three of them are being done differently. That's who a neurodivergent human being is, in my understanding.
And what all conditions do we cover in this? What all conditions like?
I'll take that one.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So neurodevelopmental disorders that we see in kids affect a lot of aspects of their development, all the domains of development that we talk about: motor development, sensory perception, language and communication abilities, the way they function in a social setting, how they respond to their caregivers and other people, and then their adaptive skills, how they function in their environment, the cognitive skills. So all these aspects, the physical, mental, emotional, social part, any divergence in this development can be a marker of a neurodevelopmental condition which is affecting a child. And ADHD kids, autism kids, intellectual impairment, global developmental delay, and kids with CP, and a lot of genetic syndromes where different areas are affected. These conditions would come with neurodiversity because they're responding to the environment in a different way. They're developing in a different pattern, which is not a typical pattern of development that we see. So hence the term neurotypicality and neurodiversity. And neurodiversity is now considered by the community as a more respectable way of addressing these needs instead of disabilities or different challenges or disorders. So neurodiversity is the more accepted term.
Thank you, Dr. Hema and Dr. Sonali. Please go ahead. I just wanted this clarity for everyone.
Yeah. So what I heard from Dr. Sonali is it's very important to validate the parental emotions that are coming. They can be any kind. They can be anger, there can be denial, there can be a relief with the diagnosis. There can be a lot of guilt that maybe something I did which has led my child to be like that. So once we have settled this, once the parent has crossed this phase of a lot of mixed emotions that happen and which are different for every kind of parent, because we are very different individuals and we react to different situations in a different way. The next question is for for Simi. Can you tell me what happened for you? So once you got the diagnosis, where did you find the emotional and practical support? Was it from the friends, family, other parents, therapists who supported you in accepting and moving beyond the label and the diagnosis and now working with the child on whatever his needs at that point were?
Wait. Yeah.
Unmuted.
Thank you. Yeah, unmuted. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me, and Dr. Hema, all credit goes to you, and thank you for such an august audience. Let me share first a small anecdote. Dr. Ruchira Gupta here, small world. Karthik came into this world. She was in the OT with Dr. Uma Sharma. So the moment her name was mentioned, I was like, she got Karthik here. So I'm mother of Karthik. He's 21 now, Dr. Ruchira, if you want to know. And yes, once you receive the diagnosis for Dr. Sonali, she being in the medical fraternity, it was, I think she could understand. Now, for a layman like me, when we get the diagnosis, we don't even know, we don't even know what is coming up. We are like, okay, थोड़े दिन कुछ दवाई दे देंगे या कुछ थोड़ी सी therapy हो जाएगी and the child will be fine, normal. In my case, he spoke very well, but he was not speaking. And a layman generally notices that only, that the child is not speaking. They miss all the other things of autism, lining up, repetitive behavior, stimming, and everything is like normal for us. In Karthik case, understanding thousands of logos and all those things, we thought it was like genius person that way. But once this was there, initially, yes, every parent goes through this phase when everybody blames the mother. First key, you only didn't take care, and it comes from family, relatives, everyone. be it हर बंदा आपके पास कोई advice लेके आएगा. As Dr. Hema said, Karthik has seizures also. He had a rare autoimmune pemphigus vulgaris. So he was in the ICU of Kailash. Kailash is like second home. I mean, a lot of support I get from Kailash for everything. Kailash Sector 27. They understand autism like anything. So he was in the ICU, and there was an uncle there next to his bed, and they had to do some biopsy, and Karthik was throwing a ruckus like anything. So that uncle was like, इसको अभी तिरुपति लेके जाओ, अभी माफी मंगवाओ, तो ये बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाएगा. So that was the kind of things we parents hear, So the major support actually came from co-parents, and we started, Karthik is 21. So it's like way back of, a lot of Google information and all. We used to rely on a lot on therapists also. So one thing, many times, sorry to say, the so-called therapists also, we consider them as seniors. They say, okay, when we try to probe and all, they would be like, oh, you're trying to label the child, aisa to kuch bhi nahi hai, just thoda sa speech delay, everything will be fine and all. So that also used to happen. And then there were therapists who were really supportive. I mean, I didn't even know the term OT existed, till the time my younger sister's son was also diagnosed with autism, and she happened to be in Singapore. So they started with occupational therapy. So support came from my co-friends. We were all discovering together. And then from my sister, when Karthik was already 6 by the time, he was diagnosed almost by the age of 2.5. And then we just kept on saying speech delay. The therapist said speech delay, nothing else. In fact, when I got him diagnosed as autistic from AFA, the therapist flatly denied, saying कि नहीं, इसको तो autism है ही नहीं, just मामूली speech का थोड़ा IQ issue है. That's all he's said, So that kind of misinformation also comes to parents, and that happens even now also, So it was from all quarters. And how I was able to do the course, because initially there was a lot of resistance. There was a lot of, things like, okay, because of you, these happened. You didn't take care of the child. Then slowly, I accepted, because I didn't know the gravity of the situation. So I accepted everything as it is. And nothing could happen without me and Karthik together. We were like one unit, So if you want me somewhere, with all the habits or whatever it is, Karthik would also be there. And if you are not ready to accept Karthik, then you don't have a place in my life also. So slowly everybody supported. And my mom, in fact, was here when I started doing my special education course. She supported me a lot at that time later. And then now she's my biggest fan. She is like, she's always so proud. So you have to keep looking for support. You have to seek, ask, you will definitely get help. And yes, avoid the negative part. That's what I have learned as a parent.
Thank you for sharing that, Simi. Thank you for your personal sharing. What I would like to know is, when you say that you feel that the diagnosis could have helped you, and you kept getting vague terminologies on what it is that Karthik was facing. When is it that you received the correct diagnosis, and how did you arrive at the right reliable sources of information, and who helped you to really understand what is it that Karthik actually had? So it's like an eye-opener for a parent, because once the right information starts coming, the parent now actually understands what it entails to support the child.
So yes, the early intervention phase first. Karthik was diagnosed way before we came to know there was something amiss way before he was 2 years, And the only thing we were told was to put him in school. He will learn things, aram se, and start speech therapy, which is what everybody says. But he had those typical symptoms of autism, which the person being, I don't want to name, being he was 50 plus at that time also, a speech therapist. He completely misled me, saying, no, there is nothing. By by the time he was 5.5, my husband is from the IT field. So he started Googling. We kept those, and we trusted. I mean, I think in the Indian community, we have a lot of respect for elders, the seniors, they come with experience. They are people who have seen so much of life or seen so many kids. But I feel age and wisdom do not go together, always. So it was like one of my sister's situation when it happened. Her son was around 3, and from the school they suspected there was autism. So she pushed me, and that, please check, there's something wrong. And my husband also Googled, and then we came upon AFA, that term came up. So we took Karthik there. He was 5 plus by that time. So starting way before 2, and we were just doing speech therapy. And I used to keep asking, why is he lining up things? And he'll have this peripheral vision kind of thing. He will see all those parallel lines. He will keep all the things in lined up. I remember my older daughter had a pram, a doll's pram. He would just flip it and just keep on spinning the wheels. And I used to wonder, why is he doing all this, that way? And I used to keep asking this therapist, ki, nahi, ye aap padhe likhe parent hai na, aap to bas zyada pad rahe hain, ye chakkar hai. That's it. So
what I'm hearing from you is a lot of red flags and very clear typical signs were missed. And it took another 3 years for you to reach that diagnosis, which often happens in families.
Yeah.
And that thing that you said, that school dal do, sab kuch theek ho jayega. And often this is given to the parents, that once the child is in the
school mein dal diya. So, sorry, Dr. Hema.
This brings me to the next question, which I would address to Deepa. Yeah. I want to direct the next question to Deepa, because we did talk about school mein ghused do, school mein bhej do, and everything will fall into place. So Deepa, I believe your son has ADHD and SLD, and you are there in a regular mainstream school. So let us know, what is this misunderstanding that families have, that school would set everything right, and now that you're part of a school, how is it that a school is able to support or not support, and what are the challenges that you have faced in a school system, especially during the admission, and now that you are as a teacher, you must be observing a lot in school.
Okay, thank you for having me. Like, my son is having ADHD with LD, and I'm an occupational therapist. So by initial years, I detected that he has something unusual and he has ADHD symptoms, because LD to later on हम diagnose करते हैं, but ADHD is very visible था. Then I used to give therapies कि जो भी है हम ADHD की therapies देते हैं with the like deep pressure, joint compression, and proprioceptive, every tactile needs. Initially, no one is ready to accept that the child is having ADHD. They are saying that child is naughty and he has very high energy. It will go and he will settle down whenever he went to school or nothing. And one of the when the diagnosis is very visible, the disease disorder is very visible, then one of the elder members of my family told me that you are a therapist, you are giving therapies to other children, especially children. So you should left your job and you should give therapies and do manageable things which will help your child. That thing I face. And like whenever I go to the school, I told them that my child is having this kind of problem. Please take care of it. The in charge, the teachers were denying, no, he is not having any kind of issue. These are the normal things बच्चे करते हैं. He will settle down. He is a notorious child, and with the age, he will settle down. There is no support from the school, from the in charge. And even when I told them that I want to discuss with the counselor or any special educator in your school, they always they always deny that she is not there. She went for some work. There is no special educator, no counselor in his school. Again, today, most of the school don't have special educator as well. But now there is a rule of NEP that every school must have special educator and the counselors. But I think most of the school don't caters the needs of the children, and they always in the denial mode. He is not having this, you are just overwhelming and you are just over discussing because you are a parent and professional. So this is not the he is not having problem. So I didn't get any support from this school. I used to give therapy from myself. like special education, I used to take special education classes from Simi ma'am. And for the behavior therapy, I used to go to psychologists for the behavior modification, because they denied, even if, like, it's not my responsibility for a parent कि अगर बच्चा स्कूल में कुछ behavior issue कर रहा है, so they used to call us कि this kind of behavior he is doing. But I told them कि मेरे यहाँ पर in home I will manage his behavior, but at school it's not my responsibility. Or okay, I will look into the matter, but it's not my responsibility कि how
So
do
what
I manage.
I'm hearing from you is,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Thank you,
how
please,
do I
please.
manage his behavior at school? It's your responsibility. Your counselor should counsel him how he is doing, what are the trigger factor which are making him to do this. There's no support from this initial days.
So what I'm hearing from you is, despite being a very well-informed parent, being an occupational therapist who was aware of the different sensory processing issues that happen in a neurodiverse individual, a child with ADHD, there would have been a lot of sensory processing issues. And so,
Yes.
despite you knowing that and conveying it to the school, your child's needs were not met there. So imagine a parent who hardly knows about the different differences. So Dr. Sonali, can I call upon you to share how sending a child initially, before the school readiness schools, the skills are there, does it help that a child starts his journey at a school which is more aware of these needs? So maybe for a while, the child goes to a school, a special school, or a school readiness program where these skills are built, and then the child enters the mainstream if he's capable of sustaining them.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm a very strong believer of the holistic approach of looking at a child rather than a deficit-based approach. So as against the norm that says, अच्छा अगर speech नहीं है तो speech therapy करते हैं, and the child will be able to cover the gaps that the child is showing in his development. I feel that providing a holistic developmental plan to a child who is a little human being and who needs a conducive environment to thrive, not just work on the deficits, is of prime importance, as is early intervention. So, having said that, when we look at a child's holistic development, we want the child to be able to adapt to a mini social environment where he, like having a fish in a little fish bowl, and helping the child to adapt to that little environment, which has its own accommodations, has its own modifications, has structure, so that the child can succeed in a way that can be then gradually stepped up with a framework, so that then the child learns to go into the real world, step into the real world, which is a very, very chaotic and very stimulating place, like a mainstream school. So once we start sending a child to a place that understands the special needs that the child has, irrespective of the diagnosis, if there is a system of understanding the strength, interest, and learning style of a child, and if we also have the diagnosis, then we can work wonders with the child for helping him with his special needs, along with providing him that holistic environment that can help the child to really bloom. And then work on the adaptability, because adaptability is something that the child is going to struggle with, looking at the sensory disintegration and the emotional dysregulation that comes with autism. So it is the social environment that the child is not able to adapt to because of his sensory disintegration. So what really helped me as a parent, if I say, eventually, as Simi and Deepa mentioned, that there were struggles with not getting direction. So in my case, I did have some excellent therapists who I was working with, But what really changed or transformed my journey was when I attended a parent empowerment program, the Sunrise program from the Option Institute in the USA. That helped me understand, because that made me realize that all this while I was understanding autism very deeply and thoroughly, being an autism specialist, but I was not able to understand my child for who he is. So that program helped me look at my child for who he is. And that kind of unleashed the unconditional understanding and the love that my child needed. And soon after, I realized there were 17 schools back to back that my child was not uh, given an admission into, or could not get adjusted to. It was 17. So before I applied for the 18th school, I realized that I am not going anywhere else, and I will create a social environment for my own child that will look at his holistic development and growth, not just for him, but also for other children who are not getting the conducive environment that they need to progress and grow. There is a lot of deficit-based approach therapeutic intervention. You don't have this, we'll give you this. You don't have this, we'll give you this. But what about the whole child? What about the play? What about the fun? What about the real little mini environment that he needs to be able to become a human being? Yes, I believe that the initial social environment plays a very important role, but the social environment has to understand the special needs of that little child, his strengths, his interests, his learning style, and the special needs that he has.
Thank you for beautifully summing it up for us. The next part of the question to Simi. Dr. Sonali shared about how to meet the child's needs. And I'm sure a lot of parents consider sending the child to the right place, which is appropriate for their child. But can you share the impact of different issues that are at hand when the child is struggling with sleep, feeding issues, with there are so many things going on in a child's life. How do these impact the child's readiness skills? And can you bring these out and tell us about what kind of other issues are happening apart from the academic learning focus that a lot of parents have? And how to address those?
Yes. Now, autism is, first of all, I don't know, should we consider ourselves lucky or what? Because autism is the only disorder which has this spectrum. I mean, most of the other disorders have a very clear-cut definitions, but because I'm a special educator and I've worked in the early intervention, I set up an early intervention place also here in Noida, and then working in a special school, then again doing my own independent practice now. I have seen children who are brilliant, who are like 3-year-olds reading with comprehension like a adult, or an 8-year-old who knows the whole periodic table and asking me to, because I'm a teacher, and saying that you should be knowing the periodic table and we should have a quiz on periodic table. And I would be like, I'm an English honors student, I don't know. Why you should know chemistry? You're a teacher. That kind of kids, 2 kids who would be drooling, who would not know that they have peed their, kids, they are adults also. So, or girls who have menstruated and they wouldn't know how to change the pad, or the pad needs to be changed. So, and with autism, we all know, Dr. Sonali and you also, we have a lot of comorbid conditions also. So like Karthik has intellectual disability, or Karthik has seizures at the age of 10. Suddenly, few people in the spectrum have seizures when they reach adolescent. And I read it, I've read it when I was doing my special education course. I went and underwent a training how to handle seizures at that time. And suddenly when it happened in the school, Dr. Hema and Sonali, everyone, I started crying. I was like, why should I be on the wrong side of the statistics, So similarly, when pemphigus vulgaris came, it was like 1 in 1 lakh people get. So, I mean, by the time you get so used to it, I said, कहीं से ना जमीन जायदाद आनी होती तो वो नहीं मिलेगी, पर बीमारी एक में से 1 लाख पे 1 है तो then we are the lucky ones. So autism has these issues wherein there would be sleep disorders, there would be lot of meltdowns. Karthik sometimes has massive meltdowns, and it would be like he's possessed. I feel older times may when you say na possession hota tha ya kuch hota tha, I feel this would have been, they would have had some autism ka traits with this, and the eyes are bloodshot and all. So as a parent, sometimes as a parent, it is heart-wrenching, to see your child completely losing it. And then comes the strategy part, because then you're a therapist also. When you are, advising so many therapists, you need to, sometimes as a parent, I forget that I need to cut out all the sensory input which is coming if there is a meltdown. Suddenly, then it strikes, oh, I need to switch off the lights. I need to put some therapeutic music. And it, in fact, as a parent also, it took me a long time to actually tell the neurologist. We started the seizure medicines because seizures, you cannot play with. I mean, it is there, you have to start medication. But that he was not sleeping, and he needs medication for that, or for the meltdowns he needs medication. This for me also as a parent, because there is that mindset na dawai doge to bachcha will be dependent on that. There is a wrong side effect, and many times we are a part of a lot of parents groups also. So parents group, maybe we will find parents advising, or even therapists advising, don't give medication, the child will be totally dependent and all. So here I would suggest to all the professionals here, esteemed doctors and all, we have to take each child case to case basis. We have to take a call where we need to give medicine and there is no harm. I mean, in fact, I remember a neurologist saying, ma'am, we know the pros and cons of every medicine we are giving, but if the positives outweighs the negatives, then we will recommend the medicine. So that is the protocol we all need to follow. And believe me, doctors, Karthik, after taking melatonin and Respiridon, will be still talking till 2 o'clock at night, wherein a normal person would just be flat and he will be doing self-talking lying down. He may not be walking around and all, but these are certain issues. And this is where one of the main thing is, okay, if you're facing a problem, then just go and seek professional help and listen to the professional. If you have any doubts, maybe take a second opinion, but don't take opinions from people who are not qualified enough to give information on that.
Thank you for sharing, Simi. And I'm sure you have managed a lot and Karthik would be fine. Deepa, we've been talking a lot about autism, but I believe your son does not have these behavioral challenges in this form. He has different set of challenges.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they think about neurodiversity, understand slight differences because for them autism is entirely different. And how about you share what has been a challenge for you? How do you find it on a day-to-day? How do you manage the emotional and social challenges that your son faces because of his ADHD? And how do you tackle those?
Okay, like in ADHD, the child is there is 3 major areas, like inattention is there, hyperactivity is there, and impulsivity, that he has to do something and goes on. So inattention is there because he has lots of high energy and he used to move on the go. He used to climb stable stairs and he is always roaming around this thing, and he never he doesn't sit still. So his movement craving, he's on the time, like he likes movement. As a professional, like he is movement seeking, like vestibular seeking is there. And the proprioception is like your body awareness, how you create, how you put pressure. Like he's on the, like most of the child, like my son is also having low tone. He's
So
on the go.
How do you, like, I'm sure that as an occupational therapist, you have a lot of insight into why he's doing what he's doing. So
Yes.
Can you tell us about how you have structured his day or what routines you have built to channelize this energy?
Initially, like I used to give sensory integration therapy, which include like deep pressure massage, rolling in a blanket, joint compression. Then I used to give him warm bath, like
How
settle down in
frequently?
the initial, yes, in the morning time. Then the breakfast time and this thing. Now he used to go to school for like 2 hours, 10 to 12, or sometimes 9 to 12. It depends कि बच्चा कितना settled है in the school. Then after he used to take nap, like 1 to 2 hours he used to take nap. Then after that he is on the high mode, like he reserve energy and he is on the go. कि मुझे अब नहीं बैठना है. I used to do this and this thing, and he always skip meal. Like he's most of the kids जो है ADHD, they are picky eaters. They doesn't want to eat anything, and their energy is quite high. It's very difficult for me to feed him. Like एक bite लिया and he used to roaming around. Sometime I used to give screen time that time. कि कुछ तो खा ले, कुछ तो बैठ के, but nowadays we tell the parents not to give screen, but at time when it happened to me, I used to give screen time. Okay, do sit for 5 minutes, have a meal, and then you go. Then again I used to take him to the park. Then again the therapies goes on, again the sensory integration therapies, and I used to give channelize his energy. I used to give one task to every person of the member. Like Dada ye karke laenge, Dadi used to do this, and father used to do this. Now this way I I manage all these things. I need time for myself. मैं अकेली नहीं कर सकती हूँ इतना. Every time, like initially तो it's very difficult more कि तुम ही करो. You are a mother and you should have to do anything. But later on they look into the matter कि नहीं, it's our responsibility. Then they should have to be participated in this kind of thing, and it will become easy for me now. Everyone is understanding, but initially it's will be a very difficult for me.
So what I hear from you is creative ways of channelizing his energy, engaging all the family members into meeting the needs, which obviously will create a healthy environment and create bonds between different family members. And you definitely have to provide him the sensory diet that he needs in terms of different activities, and focusing on his energy level, you decide what activity is to be done, right?
Yes, various kind
That's
of
what I
classes
understood.
will be given to, like drawing classes, skating,
So जब वो
swimming, and
भागना
all
चाह
this.
रहा है आप उसे पढ़ाने नहीं बैठोगे, right? That's what I
I never
understood.
force him to study because in the initial years he is a preterm baby. So most of the हमारा main concern था is health. कि तू खा ले ठीक से हो जाए, you will be fine. Then पढ़ाई तो होती रहेगी.
Simi, can I call upon you now to explain or share how you guide other parents who are dealing with these sensory and behavioral challenges and are struggling to find a routine or set a routine for their child, and what kind of strategies, be it visual, be it other kinds of devices, how to set the routine correct so that the child starts settling in and understands the day, how it goes forward.
One thing about autism, which we all know as parents and as professionals, is many children in the autism do not like surprises. They like predictability. I mean, they like things to be planned in advance. It is not like typically you say, "Oh, surprise, this is happening," but and that is when they get totally, hassled up. And as every individual is different, as every human being is different, similarly the same rule applies for our children in the spectrum also. Each child in the spectrum is also different. Now when it comes to sensory issues, first and foremost, what I tell the parents is, don't create unpredictable situations for children as far as possible. have a schedule, even if it's a small child, keep a schedule. Okay. And mostly for us, it's the visual schedule, and visual schedule works very well with children in the spectrum. Why? Because first and foremost, the way they process language, or the way they process, or the auditory or the visual medium, everything is different compared to a normal people, like a normal or a neurotypical person like you and me. So when you give a visual schedule with a visual and a word image, you're cutting down the inherent processing delays which are actually found in autism, be it the visual processing or the auditory processing delay. So when you have a visual schedule, okay, morning, these are the things you're going to do, afternoon, these are the things, the child knows the whole day is okay, what is in store. Again, coming to that with Karthik, one thing, I mean, I was not that stringent a parent, so there would be surprises also. There would be times when things would crop up suddenly. And I think in the long run, that helped Karthik also, because Karthik became very malleable. I mean, if I tell him, okay, there was a time when I was used to go to my Masi's place. He had to come back. Wherever we go, he had to come back at night, back home only. But if I tell him, even if verbally, because I couldn't plan it, I couldn't put it in the schedule, and some emergency came, I had to go to my Masi's place, then I would say, Karthik, आज हम रात को नहीं आएंगे, हम कल सुबह ही आएंगे. So ये जरूर होता था कि वो वहां आके कहता था, मम्मा कल सुबह उबर में सुबह सुबह घर चलेंगे. That he would say, but at least he would adjust to that. So slowly, I mean, last year I have the series Karthik and I in Facebook, wherein I always share my journey with Karthik, where I take him to every place possible, and expose him to all things. So I took him to Jodhpur with another parent, Shilpi. So there, for the first time, he went to a village kind of setup wherein he saw a chula, and although we do see it in Kerala also, I'm a Malayali, but actually seeing how cooking was happening in chula, and he had to sit on the floor. He's never sat on the floor and had food. The only thing is he needs a chammach to eat, that's all. But he did that. All those things were surprising for him. Staying in a hotel alone with me, there was no TV. He loves TV. He likes to watch ads on TV, but hotels with mostly TV doesn't work. So he was okay those 3 days when no TV was there. We were every day morning, we were going to new places. We were exploring new places, which I also didn't know because I had not seen, and I didn't prepare all those things. So he adjusted. So one thing, you can have a visual schedule, but don't be very strict about it. If there are sensory issues in your children, please don't take it as behavior. There is a big difference between behavior and sensory issues, and most of us, it's like ye to behavior kar raha. So if there is a sensory issues, immediately seek help from an occupational therapist. They have beautiful sensory plans, diet plans, which they incorporate in your day-to-day routine. And coming to your behavior challenges, a good special educator can always guide you in your behaviors and ADL skills. That's something which we were OT and a special educator together can draw up beautifully, plans to teach your children activities of daily living. Now, for people who do not know ADL or activity, simple thing like, nobody taught us buttoning, but for our children, we had to actually, bring out those big cardigans, put it on the table and teach them buttoning, how buttoning is done, how to wear socks, how to wear shoes, and also ADL skills also are a part of it. So seek help from the correct experts for everything. Don't be rigid about anything. If you are malleable, if you make the child's routine predictable, and then slowly put in small different routines also, the child will learn and will adapt to changes also eventually.
Can I interrupt you here, Simi?
Yeah.
One clarification required there. So you said, it's not behavioral issue, it's sensory disintegration. So could you differentiate that for our viewers?
All right. Yes. In fact, more than me, Deepa is the right person to say behavior part. I can definitely say there are certain behaviors our children would show. They would be very strict to certain routines. Like for Karthik, if a particular thing is in a particular place, then it should be there only. even at night, if we all have gone to sleep, you will see at mid of night he would have come back, got up when we were all sleeping, and kept that thing back to its original place where he felt it should be there. That could be one. That rigidity in behavior is one thing. Or there would be certain peculiar habits, like Karthik feels everything by touching. I mean, that sensory motor stage, children grow by the 0 to 2 years like goes. But for Karthik, even today, if he wants to know something, he will just pick it up, he'll tap it, he'll just, wipe it against his face. And many times parents feel very embarrassed. Oh, ye kya ajeeb sa behavior dikha raha hai, it looks very awkward in a scenario. But I understand he's understanding the thing by all the senses. He's still using all the senses, though he's 21 years old. Okay. So everything is not behavior. Some of them are sensory. Now, what are the sensory issues faced? Because we have 5 senses and there are hidden senses also. That Deepa is the best person to say as an occupational therapist. I mean, she was a part of my early intervention team. We have a long friendship. Since 2016, we have been together. So
Dr. Ritu, can I ask you to clarify the question? So were you asking the behavioral challenges that we see in a child, are they because of a behavior or because of a sensory issue? Were you asking that?
Yeah, so how to differentiate?
How to differentiate, huh? Differentiate.
May I answer that? May I answer that?
Yeah, please.
So a child on the spectrum or any neurodiverse individual can go into a state of dysregulation, wherein their emotions are too high and they are no longer receptive to taking an input from a person who's trying to calm them or get them to a regulated state. So it's like a storm which comes suddenly, and every child has a different way of behaving. Some kids may hit, some kids may bite, some kids may run around, some may lie down on the floor. All kinds of behaviors may come in a state of dysregulation. Not what we have to find is the trigger for the behavior. Did it happen because the child had a sensory overload or a sensory processing deficit, landed up into this state, or was it because the child wants something or wants to escape something, or he really wants your attention? So is he using this behavior as a means to get you to do something, in which case it might be acting as a communication strategy for them, getting their needs met, which may be an item, an escape from an environment which they don't like, or the attention of a particular person that they want. Or it could be they are too tired, they are in pain, they are very hungry, they are thirsty, and they can't tell you that.
In fact, Dr. Hema, if I could intervene, sorry, in this, and since you said this, sensory there are few children in the spectrum or adults who, communicate by writing. So what happened? One of my student, he's in Vadodara. He communicates by writing, most of that. One day, there was a get together in their family. There were 30 people there, his friends, all in the spectrum, and their family members. And this child, had a major meltdown, as she said, a sensory dysregulation, which we called a meltdown also. So he was creating a lot of ruckus. His mother called me and she said, Sivmi ma'am, it was so embarrassing. I didn't know why Akshat behaved like this, So I said, he communicates by writing. Why don't you ask him? So she asked, Akshat, don't you like to have your friends round? Why did you create such a ruckus? So this child wrote, I like to have my friends around, but it was the smell of the people. So she said, what about the smell of the people? He wrote, I mean, he's been homeschooled. He wrote, they smell obnoxious. So she was like, look, I can't tell people that they smell obnoxious. What should I tell them when they come to our place? So he wrote, at least tell them to wear new clothes when they come to our house. So that heightened is the sensory system, and that meltdown or behavior, which we thought was because of the smell of the people this child was facing, So over to.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Hema. I wanted to clarify it for the viewers.
All right. I have a question now for Dr. Sonali. We've been talking a lot about the challenges, the difficulties. I think it's time to share some glimmers that come our way. The joys of parenting a neurodiverse individual and the sudden surprises they give us, and how heartening and how heartwarming these experiences are. Can you share those with us?
Yeah, sure. I would love to. So, I can think of a little story here. So Purab has obviously taught me a lot of patience, a lot of mindfulness, I would say. And he's given us so many moments of laughter that I can go on. So he has a younger brother. Purab is 16 years old and his younger brother is 11 years old. So when he was 9 years old, I told Purab ki jao UV ko utha do. UV he sleeps a lot. So he Purab went quickly कि वो मुझे काम मिला है. So he went quickly, but he came back. So मैंने कहा नहीं, you go, आप उठा दो उसको. Within seconds, he came back again. He was trying to tell me something, and so I said, नहीं, you go, आप उठा दो उसको. Don't worry. Within seconds, I heard UV screaming, "Mummy, Mummy!" I quickly rushed. What happened? I saw UV sitting on the potty and Purab is picking him up literally क्योंकि मम्मी ने कहा है उठा दो. So he understands language that literally. So instead of crying, I laughed out loud. So they do give us moments of joy. They understand language literally. Similarly, if I give him a task, it's like a missile. You've launched a missile. Once I told him, Aaj UV doesn't eat happily. So again, I said, आज आप उसको एक banana खिला दो. ये आपकी responsibility है, उसको banana खिला दो. So like the missile is launched, now you can't stop it. UV is under the dining table. Purab is also following him with the banana. पीछे 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 पीछे. UV is over the sofa. Purab climbed over the sofa. जब तक the last bite went inside, Yuvraj Purab wouldn't stop. That's the sense of task completion, the perfectionism. As Simi just mentioned, Karthik would get up in the night and keep things in their place exactly how we are living our life. If we are walking on the road and there is a piece of garbage, he will pick it up and he will keep looking for a dustbin. And till we find a dustbin, we can't go beyond that. So yes, there are so many moments of joy, so many moments of laughter in our lives, but we keep learning. They are our best teachers. I can go on and on.
Reminds me of an instance, like my son name is Joy, the one on the spectrum, and he would never let me sit without specs on my eyes because he's seen me with specs. I cannot take them off. God forbid I put on lenses. I have to see a double vision. He'll put on the specs again because I have to have the specs on. So that can be very funny at times. Yeah. Anything you would like to share, Simi or Deepa?
Yeah.
About the
There are
joys in
certain
your life.
joys, yes. I mean, many a times we have demarcations in this world and all. So with Karthik, one day I was, I told you I take him everywhere. So to the church, to the temple, and one day I was passing by a mosque. Then I was like trying to tell him, Karthik, ये mosque है, mosque. यहाँ पे लोग pray करते हैं, ये Muslims है, यहाँ pray करते हैं और. Then he looked at it and he said, Mandir hai mosque. I mean, I was like trying to, I don't know how to explain. And similarly, my father-in-law passed away last year. So I took him to the crematorium जहाँ पे उनको वो funeral pyre सब था. तो I didn't know how to explain death to him. कैसे बताए death हो गया, you won't see the person again. So everybody was crying, like it was a serious affair. And I was surprised. He's never been to a crematorium. He's never seen a dead body. He understood the whole war. He was quiet. He was standing there. And then, the funeral was there and the pyre was lit and all. And then my mummy called him. Mummy always speaks to Karthik over the video. So mummy ne pucha, kya hua Karthik, kya gaya? So he said, दादाजी बेहोश हो गए, उनको bonfire जला दिया. So we when इतना simply उसने उसको explain किया, we were thinking कि कैसे बताएंगे, क्या करेंगे, and for him बेहोश होना means anything which is like आज से बड़ा है तो बेहोशी है जो भी है. So because for seizures also he says Karthik बेहोश हो गया. So So these are, I mean, profound things which we feel कि हमारे बच्चे नहीं समझेंगे, कैसे समझेंगे. And Karthik is not that very high functioning वाले बच्चे, you know, the genius categories which we say Rain Man or My Name is Khan. He's the typical ASD with ID and everything, as I said. But उसको भी ये चीजें समझा और उसने अपने तरीके से समझा, you know. So I think the secret lies in, you know, exposing जितना दिखा सके, जितना बोले, that way.
Thank you so much, Hema. Just being mindful of the time, it's 10:22, so you can start winding up.
So the last question, and I have skipped two, but this is the last question that I do want to address. We often talk about all sorts of skills that we need to teach our children, but often in the medley of so many therapies and so many skills that we are trying to teach, we do target an independent adult at a certain age. Can you talk about how we are missing the ADL skills that a lot of parents end up missing? And were you mindful of those from the early phase, or was it something that you realized later on in the journey that ADLs or activities of daily living and independent life skills need to be worked on because they might not come naturally?
A question.
We'll be asking.
Simi, you start, then Dr. Sonali can add.
Okay. Now, ADL, the activities of daily living are critical for any child. I mean, child as you are growing older, because our whole diagnosis, later on the diagnosis, the, you know, IQ and all is still based on the ADL skills also. Because when Karthik's UDID card was made, and this I tell to now all the new parents also, when his UDID
what
card...
I'm wanting from you here is, how do we start? Can you explain the step-by-step approach, age appropriateness, right?
Definitely. Now, for every, when we do the assessment as special educators and the occupational therapist, for every age, there is a specific ADL goal there. Now, initial one would be like the child can hold the cup together, you know, with both hands, or can use a spoon together, or can pull up the pant, just pull up the pant, or pull down the t-shirt if it is just placed till here. So there is a checklist there, which every special educator and OT will have. And the parents can approach these people. They will assess the child and identify by specifically observing the child and with parental interview where the child is lagging vis-a-vis the chronological age of the child. So once that is narrowed down, then these we have protocols to teach them. There is something called task analysis, because every task just cannot be, you know, just given. We need to break down them to the simplest possible level. So we break down those tasks into the simplest possible level and teach them at a clinical setup or the therapy setup, and then it is given to the parents to practice. So ADL skills are extremely important later on, because your final you know, IQ assessment largely depends on ADL.
All right. So Dr. Sonali, Simi shared how to approach a ADL in step-by-step manner. Can you talk about other goals that are often missing in the larger plan of things, with running after language, running after speech? How does communication, often in the rush for speech, the parents are not understanding that it is communication that they need to work on, not just speech. Can you share some examples of how kids do beautifully with AAC devices and other means of alternate ways of communication, which is an important aspect of independent living?
So I'll start with a small anecdote here. One of our students, we have around 120 learners in our special school, and most of them are either non-verbal or less verbal as compared to the others. So one of the learners, he went for he had a family thing and he took a break. He came back after the break and he was very dysregulated, very upset. So we have regular classes on communication where we are primarily focusing on picture-based communication, or some of them use gestures very nicely. Very few children are using sign language also, but majorly on pictures, and some of them are also using tech tech-based communication using pictures only, which is the device. The app that we use is called Avaz. It's a very user-friendly app, and we use that for all our communication classes. So during an interaction with him, the teacher asked him, "You seem to be upset. Do you want to share anything?" So he kept moving from one folder to the other, desperately searching for something. So the teacher helped him and opened his folder. So there is a folder for every child with every child's name on the class device. So Dhruv's folder was opened, and then the teacher asked, "Do you want to share something?" And he kept desperately searching for places. So the teacher helped him navigate. Finally, what came out was that his Nanaji had just passed away. He had come back from his funeral and cremation. And Nanaji had promised, it just came out, the story came out later. Nanaji had promised that he'll take him to McDonald's. So he kept pointing at McDonald's in the Avaz. So the teacher said, "Okay, I'll speak to your mama and we'll find out and we'll go to McDonald's on Sunday." So mama told the teacher that Nanaji had told him that we will take you to McDonald's, but he passed away. So the Dhruv was able to tell us that I am dying to go to McDonald's because this is what my Nanaji had promised. So we showed him his picture of Nanaji in that device itself. And then we promised him to take him to McDonald's. The very next Friday, we planned a trip to McDonald's. We took him and showed him Nanaji's picture and said, "See, Nanaji has fulfilled his promise." We feel that autistics may not have such feelings, in-depth feelings, but when they do feel attached to something or connected to something, or they need to communicate something, giving them means to communicate, not verbally but any which way, they become phenomenally expressive. We have a child in our school who writes anything and everything that he feels. And when you read his writing, you will realize that this is a 16-year-old boy who's telling us anything that a typical 16-year-old would want to tell you, would want to share. Right from speaking about Bollywood heroines, how he feels about them while he looks at their songs, to how he feels about the receptionist in our school, the girl. So he's able to say things, and we are able to help him redirect his feelings in a positive way and how to compliment people in a respectable manner, only because we are able to elicit that communication from him, as against children who are struggling to express or communicate their basic needs. And that's where the meltdowns, the aggression, the real challenges begin to appear. So communication is immensely powerful, non-verbal, verbal, with pictures, with any means. And somehow most of the parents feel there is a very big myth about non-verbal communication. They say that अगर हमने इसको आवाज से communicate करना सिखाना शुरू कर दिया या picture communication use करना शुरू कर दिया, तो ये तो बोलेगा ही नहीं, ये तो इसकी speech ही नहीं आएगी. That myth needs to be busted.
We need an entire session for the myths.
Yes.
For all the myths and all the misinformation out there.
But ये बहुत ही common myth है. और
but winding it up, I want you to give us 3 takeaways, 3 things that you feel are entirely necessary for the parents in supporting their children.
So if I have to give 3 things, I would say first, focus on strengths, interest, and learning style of the child. Means understand the child's needs before doing anything else. Observe and understand the strength, interest, and learning style of the child and his special needs. That is number 1. Number 2, just remember independence. Whatever we teach, whatever we do, we can teach speech, language, academics, anything, but the first priority needs to be independence. bring on independence in whatever we are trying to teach them. And the third is we need to differentiate between won't and can't. He's not doing this, he's not doing this versus he's not able to do this right now. And he needs support, the right kind of support to be able to do what we want him to do. Those would be my 3 takeaways.
Simi, any 3 takeaways for parents supporting their own mental health?
Yes, since it's all about parents, as much about parents also. Self-care goes without saying. Every parent need to be careful, take care about them, their health, their mental peace, and do anything you love so that you are there to help your child. Not being rigid, which I thought has helped my child also, and being malleable, exposing him to different things. And the third is taking help. Whenever you think you are stuck anywhere, just meet the experts and things will be sorted out.
Pipa, any 3 takeaways for supporting a child's educational or learning needs?
Okay, the first one is the early detection and early intervention is very important for the child. Second one, obviously the well-being of the parent is very important. Like healthy and happy parents leads to healthy and happy child. And the last one, the school system, like school is school is not meant for school is not for child is for school.
Yes.
We always look upon the child's needs, interest.
School has to meet their needs. The
Yes,
child does not have to meet them.
doesn't need to fit
Thank you
that
for
system.
that.
We need to accommodate that system.
Thank you for that. Thank you to all the panelists and all the audience for staying here with us and hearing our journey and all the things that we had to share. I'm sure it was a long session, but worth it. Over to you, Ritu ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it was a wonderful session. Dr. Hema, any 3 takeaways from you?
More awareness, more support from the community, and frequent, I would say frequent updates on things out there which are working for others all over across the globe. So keep on learning, keep on exploring new avenues and new ways of supporting children. So keep learning, keep utilizing community resources.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Dr.
And spread awareness.
And all the panelists, it was a beautiful session. We got so many insights. We learned so much. And what I learned is first, and foremost, it's important to catch the situation, catch the condition early. So we need more and more experts who can, like Simi shared her story, that it got delayed and people were not, they didn't pick it up. So it's important that the situation, the condition is picked in time. Then empathizing with the parents who are dealing with it, that's very, very critical. Somebody who can see them, understand them, hear them, be in their shoes, and really be there to support them. That is very critical. Then, as Dr. Sonali said, that we need to focus on holistic development of these kids. We need to look at their strengths, their interests, their learning styles, and we need to make them independent as early as possible. And we need to, we need to give them visual schedules. Communication is critical, whether it's verbal or non-verbal, that doesn't matter. Communication is important. And as I was hearing somewhere, we need to, develop and these children to surf the waves. So as they are emotionally dysregulated, so we need to, when the wave is going high, they are really dysregulated. We just need to sit back, let the wave settle down, calm down, and then deal with it. So we need to really be empathetic, understanding, accepting for these kids. So beautiful session. And again, I would like to, thank each one of you, Dr. Hema, for beautifully conducting the session. Dr. Sonali, it was a pleasure having you here with us. Simmi and Deepa, your insights, your inputs were very, very good. All our viewers.
Dr. Ritu?
Really appreciate. Yeah, Dr. Ruchira, I'll just give it to you. Just a minute. And
Okay.
remember that neurodivergence is not a limitation. It is a different expression of brilliance. And as parents, teachers and caregivers, our role is to nurture that brilliance with acceptance, trust, faith, empathy, and courage. Thanks to each one of you. Over to you, Dr. Ruchira, your closing remarks, and Dr. Latika, your closing remarks, our guest for today.
It was really heartening and overwhelming session today. Today it was totally, I mean, so much of what we talk about, you guys have really practiced. So that is very important. What I feel after listening to whole thing, everybody started their own journey independently and tried to support other children or the parents of other children who were going through that phase but were not able to get the right kind of direction. So somehow I feel more and more support groups should be there, which can definitely help more and more such kind of people. Because when such kind of situation is there, the children are neurodiverse, and then parenting issues, then a lot of other things are there, other therapies are going on. Not only it is a financial burden, but also emotional, mental, and even familial discords also start happening, as been discussed. So I feel when there are support groups, definitely you guys are doing a great job by having your own support systems. But I feel more and more support groups, as well as something should come up where there should be some financial support. Because right now, when these children, when we come to the real actual status, what do we find out? Not everybody can afford the kind of therapies being told by the experts, isn't it? A person who's earning little, I mean, less amount of money, it becomes really difficult. So what I feel, if there are more and more of support groups, more and more of financial support, not only psychological, but financial support is equally important. Our need of an arm for such kind of kid. And I feel it is time for Indian Academy of Pediatrics also to think more and more about it in terms of community services. See, we do have our chapters, we have everything with us. But what about community services? How can we help the community? So, I mean, this is a food for thought from my side. What best can we do? That's it.
IAP should come up with a parent training
So much,
module.
Dr. Ruchira, and we are waiting for you to take over the office and bring this in action. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Latika, your closing remarks, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Hema, Dr. Simi, Dr. Sonali, and Deepaji, for giving I think, overview in just 1 hour, though everything is, I think the whole thing was so vast, but they just gave that bird's view into their lives, into their minds. So it was done very beautifully. So congratulations to all of you, and especially to Dr. Ritu for coming out with such ideas. I think we should respect their individuality. We should support their individuality. We should support their talent and bring them at the level of inclusion. So they should be included into the mainstream. I think once we can include them into the mainstream, and the most of the work will be done. We are also seeing, because in Gangaram you see all these things, the development pediatrician, they are looking after the children till the age of 7, 8. They are coming to them for OT, everything. I have seen from 7, 8 to 10, 11, they just leave everything. And by the time they start coming, their behaviors change. So most of them, they come with the learning disability, or maybe 8, 9, they are not able to cope up with the exam. Then they are coming to us with the decreased academic performance. And once we go into the detail and everything, some of them are being diagnosed before, some of them are not being diagnosed. So we had Dr. Roma had done early childhood trauma. There was a 3-day workshop for the early childhood trauma. And Mr. Rahul Kumar, who is in charge of disability, he had come. So I have told him, the government is making a lot of programs. Probably it has not come to the even IP people. So leave about others. So till the time that gap exists, I think we need to close that gap and then bring everyone together. I think that will be the inclusion for all. Thank you so much. And I think we all need to work on that. Thank you so much.
Dr. Latika, Dr. Hima Bindu ma'am is here. Dr.
Thank you. A huge congratulations, Dr. Ritu. Another, I may say, super duper, very touching, very much needed topic. And the discussions were very, very like a flow, very natural, spontaneous from the heart. I can see this is the real original work done by the people you have, Dr. Manchandana and Dr. Hima, nicely moderated. And I really salute all the panelists. Thank you, Simi and Dr. If I should not be taking wrong names, Dr. Seema. And I think they spoke out of their experience. No? They were actually dealing with those cases. And as a mother, as a health educator, psychologist, I mean, those were their real feelings coming from within. They were so nicely expressing. It really touched our hearts. I think this is really great, Ritu. I hope this will create some, some insight among our pediatricians that we need to really be compassionate and little be inclusive, as somebody said. Yes, when we see such children and such parents, we need to give that healing touch and give them proper guidance. And I think we play a very pivotal role. Thank you for getting this topic on the HA, on the national board. Thank you. Congratulations once more.
Thank you,
Dr.
ma'am.
Ritu?
Dr.
Dr. Ritu?
Hanji, ma'am. Hanji, sir.
Dr. Professor Srinivas is there.
Srinivasan sir is here. We can ask him for his comments.
Yes, Professor sir.
Why Srinivasan?
Please.
I am not an expert, but anyhow, I enjoy
No,
thoroughly
sir.
each and
Thank
every
you, sir.
sentence,
You are
You're
so
every word,
experienced
and
person,
their
sir.
face.
regularly attend all our sessions. Thank you.
Yeah, and the emotions are also, they're telling all the experiences with a smiling face and very eloquently mentioned. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you for
And I'm
being
sure
here.
more and more people will come to take care of these children.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sir, you are in abroad or India?
Abroad.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm coming only in mid-October.
Okay.
Rally, ma'am, your closing remarks.
From all that I heard from their personal experiences, I feel, Ritu, that pediatricians first and foremost should be made aware of the early signs and symptoms. Like each of them, they were not picked up. So that added to the mental trauma that the parents faced, delayed and then being told such things at a later stage when they had actually themselves picked it up that it was just not right. So that guidance a pediatrician will be able to give if he or she himself understands or experiences such things. So the first step, as you said, IAP, I think we should talk to the IAP leaders. The first step should be to make our pediatricians aware of what it entails. And then they can have that healing touch, that sympathetic or empathetic touch, as you say, the loving touch of a pediatrician. Then, of course, I empathize with each one of the mothers who've been through this long journey. And I think people like Dr. Sonali, Simi, all of them, they can hold together a workshop. And few of our pediatricians could learn from them as well. So another thing, what I have personally experienced, you were all talking about OT. The persons who are giving OT, they actually run away in half the session, go and open up their own clinic somewhere. So the child is left bereft in between the sessions. So somebody, one of us, if they take over, recently I've met a doctor from Ranchi. She said that I trained myself in OT because this is what was happening to my children. So I do the OT part myself now. So like them, like we are learning adolescent, maybe few of us could branch out and learn these things as well, so that the preliminary help can be given to them before sending them to a therapist. Thank you. I close my comments now.
Wonderful comments, ma'am, and very well taken. I think we should take this forward. We should have this workshop for pediatricians first to make them understand, pick up signs early, and then to train them in like various skills also. Thank you. Thank you.
And kudos to Hema. Hema, you did a real good job of the session. So happy to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So,
Yes.
Dr. Hema, you are the star of the show today. All kudos to you. All congratulations. Dr. Sharma, sir, any words, like a few words?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Ritu for bringing us a new topic, and that is touching to our hearts and learning topics. And thanks UPAHA, Dr. Pyali Madam, and all team for bringing a such topic. And thanks Hema, Simmi, Dr. Deepa, Dr. Latika, Hema Ma'am, and all panelists. What I feel, it is very difficult to accept the things for parents. Number one. First things is rejection. नहीं ये हमारे बच्चे को नहीं हो सकता, ये तो है ही नहीं, गलत बता रहे हैं डॉक्टर साहब. And he is shifted to the 1 to 2, 3 doctors. Then he realized and slowly accept. Number one. Number two, our IAP is doing very good job and learning of our IAPNs. Very important. First, we should empower our pediatrician to detect the things, as Dr. Pyali said, detect the things early and to refer and intervention. Number 2. 3, good job is doing from last 5 years, our IAP. Early childhood development program is running. Number 1. Number 2, 1000 days care. Yes, Hema ma'am. Hema ma'am, please. 1000 care days is also
Yes,
introduced.
sir.
And yes, correct.
Which Hema you're saying?
These two
Thank you,
programs
sir.
You. She's Hema.
Yes.
She's not Hema.
Hema Bindu. Yes. So these two programs is very important, and they should be percolated in the all branches and to the all pediatrician. This is my personal request to IAP. Thank you very much for a good show. Thank you again, Ritu.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words of wisdom. So I call it a day and call it a night. Good night to each one of you.
Good night, all of you.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Heartfelt thanks, Dr. Sonali, Simmi, Deepa.